Namaste and good morning. Thank you for joining us today. I know it's a dull Saturday morning, but we are here to brighten this up for you. So yesterday, as you all know, it was International Women's Day together with Mahashivratri. What a combination, if there ever was one. So today we've gathered here to celebrate International Women's Day by having a conversation, exploring the relevance, the vibrancy, and the importance of a woman's role in society. First, a bit about us. So Vani is a platform that focuses on dharmic speech delivery. Vani aims to create a network of orators who oh no, I've probably said it that, who consists of intelligence and creativity and bring in a dharmic perspective. So for future details or any further details, please check out our website, www.vani.org.uk. You can sign up to our mailing list. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, which is Vani Speakers. So we do have lots of speakers available for your next corporate or charity event. Do get in touch. Without further ado, let's get into this chat. Firstly, I'm your host today, Falguni Bhatt. By profession, I'm a data protection consultant, and I'm one of the Vani speakers as well. So, as we mentioned, today's theme is International Women's Day, and the first International Women's Day was celebrated Women's International Day has been celebrated across the world since early 1900s. This was well before our time, and actually a time for us when India, our own motherland, had not even gained independence. So the world has clearly changed since the first International Women's Day. Some may even question the relevance of it today, but one thing is for sure, it's still a great day to remind ourselves how far we have come. So, I've got to say, I was guilty of that up until yesterday. I was probably challenging the whole concept myself. And the more I kind of reminded myself the relevance of this day, it really did make me think twice why it is actually important and why we should continue celebrating this wonderful event and more so about being women. So today I'll be in conversation with four wonderful women, taking anecdotes of their personal experiences, who all come from different backgrounds. So they may be born in different countries, but they are tied together through values and leadership. So I would like to first introduce you to Pruthvi Trivedi. So Pruthvi is a digital marketing manager, and she's currently on maternity leave. I just want to say, Pruthvi, I've probably known her since she's been in her teenagers, and I've always thought of a very inspiring woman. And she has got lots of talents, and one of them, she's a Kathak dancer and also an artist. So she creates some wonderful art. So forever inspired by you, Pruthvi. Then next we've got Rajni and Negi. She's a multifunction management and business analysis, currently working for Virgin Media O2. And again, Rajni is one of these women that if you follow her on social media, you know she's a lady of many talents. She's a singer, she writes, she's got amazing poetry. So again, it's someone that whilst I may not have seen her much, but I've definitely seen her a lot on social media platforms, and again, very inspired of what she does. Then third speaker, we've got Madhvi bin Haria. She's a secondary science, She's a secondary science and sixth form teacher and a yoga instructor. And I think everyone on this panel will agree the inspiration that Madhvi bin gives us on not just an everyday basis, like she's a great mother, a great wife, and a wonderful leader. So thank you for joining us today, Madhvi bin. And also she's the Assistant General Secretary of HSS UK. And finally, we have Neelima Cheerla, a fellow Northerner in the house. She's from Liverpool, and she's a financial crime. Her job is in financial crime at Santander Bank, and she's a coordinator for National Women's event organization. And also, she's our little social butterfly. She's constantly organizing events, hosting events. So again, another woman who's got it all, not just a career, but this social life and bringing people together. So thank you all 4 of you for joining us. It's definitely great to have you on the panel. And today, just to let our audiences know, it's going to be an informal discussion. We want a conversation. We don't want something so formal on a Saturday morning. I just want to get your views and your thoughts. So what we want to do is going to start with the first question is, what are the benefits of having empowered women or women in leadership roles in an organization? Now, that could be it a workplace, be it a community-based organization. So I'm going to open up to the speakers. Who wants to jump in first? Else I'm going to have to nominate. Thank you, Rajni.
I think I would like to start with this, that first of all, it's we have every reason to cherish the blessing of being a woman. And the question which you asked, I feel there is a diverse perspective to it, because if an empowered woman is on that table, she brings that diverse viewpoint and experiences there. While I feel men, if they are pointing out the practical aspect, we have a slightly bit of empathy and sort of compassion and a personal touch to see any of the viewpoints from a different angle. So what do you all think? Am I right in this?
I think I agree with that aspect, because on today's era, when we are talking about the women empowerment, the perspective is anybody who is independent are looked with the concept of women empowerment. But I also feel any woman who has chosen to be at home or has to remain at home, who is contributing where others are happily able to go out and contribute to the society, to develop the country for that matter. So this woman, or we as a woman, are raising a healthy and a happier children. So it's a good balance out there where both women and the man are working parallel to each other. So I think we, in this generation, the modern Hindu community, this is something which has been accepted very positively.
I think your question, Falguni, was related to workplace and the qualities, right?
Yeah, it could be workplace, or obviously you're all part of a community organization as well. So I know you've kind of spoken bits about community, but also in the workplace, how important is it to have, inspiring female leaders?
I think even, just adding on from what Neelima said, staying at home once, raising your children or nurturing those qualities, I think that we have those nurturing qualities that really brings added value, whether you're a mother, you're not a mother, whether you're married, you're not married, but there's natural, I don't know, majority of women that I have met, is it that natural nurturing instinct from, primary school teachers to, it's just a very, very caring environment that you create, and you're able to, I feel majority of women, we're all different, kind of that sense, we can pick up that sense of, hang on, we need to go and sort that issue out in that sort of little sector over there of the workplace or something. It's very easy to kind of sense, and we can see that a lot. There's funny Instagram memes that we see all the time in the videos when men just have no idea when a woman's not happy, or it's just a natural thing. It's nothing to be comparable to. It's just really picking up on those natural instincts that we have, and I think adding them to your workplace or your home life, I think it's just very multi-applicable. You can add it to any kind of scenario. Yeah, I think that's what I've experienced anyway. So
yeah, I think we are multitaskers, right? That work-life balance, how to balance your work, because like balancing your home, your career, doing community service, I think it's take a lot, and I think we are doing our jobs fantastically. And I feel one of the important essence of this womanhood, which makes it special, is way beyond the descriptions of words and just ticking that box of achievements. I feel is the heritage of our womanhood, right, which we got from our Hindu dharma, from our culture, which makes us strong, and that what we are putting it forward in our workplace places as well.
But do you feel, I mean, I quite often have seen it in my work experiences where I feel women seems to have to prove themselves a much more, especially women in leadership positions. I feel they take their role much more seriously than their male counterparts. And I do sometimes feel they're probably a little bit harsher at times as well when in managing people. I don't know. I mean, I've always had lots of male managers and then I've had some female managers, but definitely there is a difference. And I do feel, and maybe it is to do with the fact that they feel that, I mean, do they still feel like they have to prove themselves more? I don't know. It's open to discussion or, Pruthvi, in your experience, have you had?
Yeah, so I'm currently on maternity leave, and I actually recently had a KIT day, which is called Keeping in Touch Day. I personally feel that having a female manager has helped really a lot. Just to, you don't have to over explain why you want to do things a certain way. The idea of flexible working now in modern times, especially after COVID, has really helped. But, for example, my manager is a mother of 3, so she really understands sometimes, that there might be some troubles with workload or just timings, or even, things like the natural way of feeding your baby, and just making that conversation really comfortable for you. And, this is really natural, and sometimes it can be quite difficult to have those conversations with senior members of staff who are male, and having leadership who are female just makes things more comfortable, which is really great. And it goes beyond that professionalism that we talk about at work. It's almost like you have somebody, a friend on that side to talk about those comfortable things, like how we have within our community or our families. It brings that ease back into work. So then you don't lose that female workforce.
Yeah. 100%. And that's really insightful. I'm so glad you kind of gave that explanation. And even like when I think back to how I got into this, data industry, it was because of another female manager who actually inspired me, who then had conversation with me, who actually wanted to see me grow. So it's, definitely that support in workplace is essential, and I think we should strive more to kind of own them kind of positions and be mentors for other women as well. So I'm going to move on to my next question, probably more of a personal perspective about what are some of your reasons that motivated you to care about or even think about women empowerment. So was there a trigger point, or was there something that you felt, no, I want to make a stand for it. I want to get more involved with women activities, because I know all of you are part of a women's organization. So anyone wants to take it away?
Just like to share here, because we as a Hindu women, we always feel that we have got certain limitations or restrictions around us, but that's not the case. In the modern era now, most of the Hindu communities do accept the giving an opportunity and to pursue their careers, like for example, so when we everybody here, like who are married and then are involved in raising the children, we may have to take a little hit back and like take a little
Not
pause.
everyone's married here. Sorry, just got to butt in. Singleton in the house. We've got to value the single women as well.
Yeah. So, but I'm sure you would relate to what I meant to say, that when you have certain steps that you would just feel, oh no, I'm pregnant and I'm on a maternity leave, then you just want to take a little pause, or let child be 3 years old, and then I would like to come back to my career in the profession. So maybe you're taking a little pause there and you go back. So you need someone at that time who is in the process of uplifting you, a sort of encouragement, telling you it's okay, you know, you have not missed out anything there. You can get your career back, but you have spent some most important time of the year. You've seen, you've involved the process of raising your children. That is something only you have actually, you know, experienced, which no one has. So in these factors, I just feel, because I personally experienced that, and my mom at that time, because I'm not known for around 3 to 4 years anybody in this country when I came, but like you need to have somebody, a friend and a supportive person, a lady for that matter, who would understand, who can work parallelly with your mindset.
And that's what
I
you
hope
want to be for
you all
others.
must have experienced. Yeah.
And
Sorry.
that's what I also say, and that's what you want to be for other women now, Neelima.
Yeah, definitely. Because when I see, you know, someone is coming and undergoing with the same process, so I can keep myself in their shoes, and I can say and give, sometimes giving your examples, you know, would motivate them. Say, I understand how you're feeling. Just sitting, having a little conversation, making them assure, yes, we are there for you here.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Madhvi, I think.
I was just going to say, I think sometimes it's just to do, I don't think I've ever had a trigger as such, but just my upbringing was just very like, I never felt like I'm a girl and then I can't do certain things because I was a girl. I think I used to just love getting up on the roof with my dad and fixing the roof tiles and painting and decorating, and actually enjoyed that more than being in the kitchen, for example. Mom would be like, come on, you know, come and do the rottlis now, you know, you need to learn how to do the. And my dad was never ever like, you know, you have to do this and you can't do this. And even we lived in a joint family, my grandparents, it was very, very like, I just never felt like there was any kind of restrictions or any kind of, you know, sort of glass or walls or anything like that I couldn't cross because I was a girl or I was a female or I was a daughter or I was a sister. And I did feel that I did always, it was like, you've got these skills, and it was all about emphasizing your natural talents. So I think that's what really triggered. And then I guess when you're brought up in the atmosphere and then you go out and you meet other people and then they are facing these challenges, that's what maybe triggers you. Like, hang on, I've never faced this, and how come she's facing this or that family's facing this? So that kind of triggers you to think, hang on, maybe we do need to put something in place, or I know how I want to raise my children, I know what kind of family structure I want to be in or help. So it's really dependent on, I think, a lot of your experiences, you're growing up, all different phases of your life, and the sort of the experiences that you face through that.
Absolutely. I'm from a family of 7 of us, 5 kids of his parents, and it's a female-dominated household. Bless my dad, but actually it was my dad that used to take us to Bharatnatyam and to all these different classes, whether it's Balvikas or Svadhyay or Shaka, you know, anything. It was my dad who was the driver. Usually it's the mums. In our case, I think our family was very different. And yeah, so definitely got my navigation skills from my dad. But yeah, I think it does depend on your upbringing. And I think, Rajni, you were going to say something?
Yes. So I somewhere agree with the Madhvi point, because at my house as well, I see my daughter, same like your experience, Madhvi. She's something very strong, opinionated women, girl actually. And I feel, you know, every woman need to understand that when we talk about women empowerment, that has to come from within ourselves, right? And yes, there are few ones who are not privileged to get that sort of a experience from their house. And what I see, like how I have grown up, I've seen that in my house as well. I've seen we are 3 sisters, and my mother was a very strong lady in teaching us the actual aspect of womanhood, how we have to carry on, that strength, that resilience, wisdom in us. And I've grown up studying and reading about those stories of powerful women, you know, through books or around me as well, who played that pivotal role in shaping the Samaj and upholding that dharma. That remind me of my inherent worth, actually. So I see empowerment in that way. And moreover, now there is another aspect as well. It's not all about when I talk about empowerment, I see there should be a balance, right? there's a concept of Narishwar, where a masculine and a feminine are respected as two halves. And here it's not about a male and a female, it's about certain qualities which we have to balance, right? That's what I feel is all about fulfillment. And that's what I feel I'm empowered. What I feel, the word I'm empowered for myself, actually.
Because I'm sorry, Rajni, if I just jump in, like empowerment, I've never even thought of that as woman empowerment because I've always been empowered.
Yeah.
So it's not like a thing to, oh, I need to give authority, or I need to have authority so I can do something. It's just always been there. And actually from day dot in our shastras, it's there. It's just, that's what's given to you. So woman empowerment,
yeah,
that notion is just not there. But because of historical influences, suppressions, invasions, male, different sort of egos and things coming up, and that's why there's been a rise when there's injustice in the world, and there isn't that natural empowerment given to that woman, and that's when this rise actually happens. And this is what you said, and I think somebody else, I think Falguni, you said in the workplace when women sometimes women bosses are a bit more harsher in some situations, and it's that strive to actually be equal. And sometimes I wonder whether we're trying to embrace more masculinity than actually embracing femininity and our natural feminine traits. So how do we get that balance? Is it about equality? Is it about complementary kind of values and characteristics? So are we trying to be more masculine sometimes, I wonder, than actually embracing femininity?
I think that's a really good point, because it reminds me of, in the Ramayana story, King Janak, who, those who aren't familiar, is Princess Sita, or Sita Devi's father. And as a leader, he had his kingdom, he was a leader, but he had very gentle qualities. Now, some people might describe that as feminine qualities, etc., but very gentle qualities. And the way he brought up his daughter, and adopted 4 daughters, really, his own daughters and 2 of his brother's daughters, was very gentle. And it really reminds me of the inspiration we take from a king into this conversation of how to bring up a young lady or woman in society. And exactly what you're saying, Madhvi, Ben, like, are we thinking that we're too masculine? But actually, in all the leaders, should they embody certain qualities that we can get from, like, maternal qualities, paternal qualities, etc. We need to think about what we can do, but also what others can do as well.
So I feel it's a balance in all of us. It's all equal, the masculine trait and the feminine, and where exactly it's required. I think, we can move
Okay, so I'm
forward
going to go on to one of the last questions. Sorry, because I'm so mindful that we only have 30 minutes today, and I think this conversation could go on forever. But I do want to ask you some of the challenges, but also I want to bring up one particular aspect. We often hear that women can be the own worst enemies, right? There's been surveys conducted in the past where there's a high percentage of women who were surveyed felt mean and negative undercurrents from other women. Now, obviously, there's other challenges as well, right? But then what do you think about this, or actually any challenge that you feel that women face today? So we've got the last 5 minutes, and come on, let's get some.
What percentage was that? 70?
No, so actually one of the surveys that I saw said 90%, but that was back in 2010 or 2011. But so I'm just saying high percentage. So I don't know. Yeah.
So is it being the competition, you mean, within the women that you're talking about?
I think it's just within our own, like,
the
we're our own
stereotype, even, like,
gender,
mother-in-law stereotype, and the sisters being competitive with each other. Personally, I felt that if you have a lot of confidence in yourself, come what may, it doesn't matter what other characteristics are coming to you, you have confidence in yourself, you can take that positivity, or you can take whatever it is and turn it into positivity. I felt, and it kind of goes back to your previous question of like, you know, why are you involved in women's empowerment and things like that? If you have a really good support network that you're bringing up, you'll always see the positivity from everybody around you. And yes, there is competition, absolutely, and it comes in naturally. It can be emotional as well, but I think somebody mentioned resilience in this conversation, and you know, all of those qualities, having the confidence in yourself, the self-esteem, having resilience, will eradicate these surveys, definitely, because we shouldn't be competitive with each other. We should be uplifting each other, and being in organizations like the one that we are part of really is a stepping stone of uplifting each other, I feel.
But I'm just gonna, like, maybe not competition per se, but it could be just the expectation. Yeah. So there's an expectation that, oh, you've been married for 3 years. Why have you not had a kid yet? Right. Oh, so this morning, actually, in research for this, I was just listening to a TED talk, and it was all about childless women and how, in fact, most women would never ever understand what they go through, yet I don't know why they feel the need to always make a comment, a passing comment. Oh, you left it too late. Oh, well, you know, you should have tried harder. But however, you know nothing about the woman's circumstance, and you're just passing comments. And I think that's really quite harsh. And so we're known to do that. You know, and it's awful for the woman on the other end. So how can we be more mindful now? That could be relevant to, you know, maternal situations as well.
Personally, sorry, just before we go on to that, I don't think that's a gender issue. It can happen anyone can be a perpetrator of that.
Yeah,
men do that as well. But
I think I agree to what Pruthvi just said. It's not a gender issue. It could be the general issue for that matter. And because we are in the form of a women's day, so you know, like we all know the qualities of matritva, netritva, and kartritva, the motherhood, leadership, and the management. So if we have these qualities, I think we have to be, you know, more matured enough to understand and give a space to the opposite person, and maybe have a little instinct of, you know, having that vibrancy in our women, because we as a women are always full of energy and enthusiasm. So have that positive mindset and always appreciate each other's skills and uplift rather than discouraging somebody for whatever they do.
I think we've got to do this from a very young age within children. I'm a secondary school teacher, but I've also taught in primary school for 6 years. And even from reception age, and I'll see girls who are 4 or 5 in the playground, they've had a little kerfuffle amongst themselves, and they'll hold that grudge with each other for a few days, if not longer. And these are 4 or 5-year-olds, right? And they'll start forming cliques and groups and all this kind of stuff from that age group. You know, probably maybe not earlier than that, but definitely that happens. When you observe boys in the playground, when they've had some problem, you give them a football and that's it. It's all gone, finished. Playing together, being together, having fun together, for them is more important. Yeah. And we, as these girls grow up more and more, you know, into their, you know, teenage years, these traits last, and it can cause huge problems within them. So I don't know, sometimes, you know, we're all in leadership sort of, responsibilities, and we go to regular youth clubs and, you know, part of Shaka and things like that. So from that young age group with the girls, how can we almost like when that green-eyed monster is about to turn on, how can we almost have this sort of trigger in that girl's mind that, hang on, stop, I need to stop, I need to pause, and I need to think, hang on, what am I actually doing here? And you're right, Falguni, you know, we are our own enemies. And that's I feel one of the biggest downfalls that we have as women. And we need to learn how to embrace each other's decisions, whether someone's decided to stay at home after maternity leave for longer, if you decide to go to work, if you decide to have a cook in the house, you know, be like, oh, you're going to work. Oh, you've got a cook. You can't even cook. Like, what? You want me to cook? You want me to work? You want me to be a great mother? So are we in this rut of trying to be perfect at everything, and then we judge each other at that perfection? So how can we just accept that woman for who they are and their qualities, and how do we nurture that in women?
Okay, so amazing points, Madhvi, and I just think we can have a whole discussion on some of the things you've just raised that.
Every Saturday morning, yeah.
I know. So, and yeah, like I'm going to ask you one final question because it's bang on 10:30 and I want a quick answer from all of you. So I love the points that Pruthvi raised as well about that self-confidence, which is going to help you, you know, through this journey. But I want to ask you, all of you, how do you empower yourself? So whether that's that self-confidence, how do you instill that within yourself and the women around you?
I'll start. For me, rather than looking outward, for myself, I feel it's more inwards, and I have to stop validating myself from other perspective, and I have to see that how I'm continuously upskilling me, right? If I'm upskilling me, definitely the girls around me or the women around me, the power of the pack around me, they will definitely get inspired, motivated. So that's what I'm working on. Yeah.
Thank you, Rajni. I think Pruthvi was just about to
Yeah. So for me, the first word that comes into mind is being a cheerleader. So whatever, you know, whatever it is that people are doing, cheering them on, it doesn't take that much effort to do. We're in a world where a like button is easy to do. You know, a share button is easy to do. We're in that digital world. So being a cheerleader is how I empower others. And really, that's how I build my friendships as well, by being their cheerleaders. Yeah.
Love it. Thank you, Pruthvi. I think Neelima, you've got.
Yeah, so I think I empower myself by recognizing my own abilities and working towards them to develop my knowledge, maybe by reading the books or reading some articles, and making sure that what knowledge do I have to share that to my fellow friend or my colleague or all the women out there, that recognizing if someone needs me there, I'm there for them. Having a little conversation, maybe a little phone conversation for a day would help, someone to, for that day to, that would motivate me as an individual. And I'm sure, after the conversation, somebody is feeling better out there with that little thing, So it's like always be there for somebody that who is in need.
And I love the point you made about that self-reflection, because we can always improve ourselves in any capacity. Yes. So let's try and, though, like the word is swadhyay, like, work on ourselves, study ourselves. Yes. So brilliant. Thank you, Neelima and Madhvi.
I think just adding to everything that's been said here, it's not just self-study, but also just introspection, being able to actually sometimes self-criticize ourselves as well. Hang on, I do need to pick up on what I've just done wrong, and being able to recognize that, but also not being too hard on yourself as well. Not saying, oh, I can't do this, and recognizing, hang on, yeah, this is my point today. This is how much I can do. Tomorrow I'll reflect, I'll go back to it, and I'll build on those sort of those points that I need to work on. So a lot of it is self-study, introspection, understanding yourself, and doing the best as you can. And so I'm not going to say it's empowerment, but just womanhood.
Yeah, exactly. Sisterhood. That's what we want to see more of.
Absolutely.
We want to, like, I think one thing we can have a takeaway, not that this is meant to kind of have any, main takeaway I would say from this conversation would be to say, have compassion for each other. Let's support each other. Let's motivate each other. And I love what you said, Pruthvi, be each other's cheerleader. A little like is not harmful at all. In fact, let's encourage them to create great content or show great posts. self-reflection is so key, and equally so self-care. So don't be so critical. Do love yourself as well. So thank you, ladies. And that is the end of it. I know we ran 5 minutes late, but thank you for joining us today. Like I said, if you want to know any further details on Vani, please go onto our website, www.vani.org.uk. We've got various speakers that you can request, and they can come and join your corporate events, any of your charity events, and give that karmic perspective as well. So thank you for joining us on this Saturday morning. Have a wonderful day. And for all you lovely, beautiful mothers out there, we know you're managing lots. A happy Mother's Day in advance for tomorrow. And that's it from me. Namaste. Bye.